Welcome to episode 153 of Fourth and John. I am Gail Saunders here with Evan Hollywood Hearn and Soko in the chat. This is the post-game show.
Oh,
very interactive with all the Eagle fans in here. But to start off at the top here, what an embarrassing performance by our Eagles. You're talking about a team that came out of the bye looking like that. Doug Peterson, it starts with you. You're the one who leads this ship. You're the one who has to right this ship. But you're also one that is under the navigation of this offense. You have the map. You're the one that's calling the plays. The play calling, garbage. The 2nd and 10 play, bringing in Hurts, garbage. The usage of Travis Fulgham, garbage. Just Travis Fulgham on the day, 1 catch for 8 yards, 5 targets. He tied Dick Rod with 5 targets on the day, but everything seemed forced. Everything seemed a little off from the get-go. You're literally sitting there as an Eagle fan wondering what the hell is going on with this offense. It's not just one game. It's not just 2 games. It's 3 games in a row where we have seen basic bullshit-ass offense to the part where they're playing so bad as a unit, like offensively, and they're offensive, by the way, that it's like they're playing catch-up in the second half because the execution has been so poor, and you're just hoping and praying that this team. I don't know about you. I don't normally just lay down and die. I'm kind of like go with the flow, but I don't really care what goes on with this Eagles team at this moment. That's how I'm feeling right now. Obviously, this post game, these reactions are live. I'm very tired of looking at what we're looking at week in and week out with Doug Peterson and this offense. It doesn't make sense, and I feel like Carson Wentz has to get his, you want to put him in the best position to succeed, and I'm more leaning towards someone else who put him in a better situation to succeed than it's giving up on Carson. Like, I think it's Doug Peterson. He's got to give up. He needs massive amounts of changes. Evan Hollywood Hearn, how are you doing today, my friend?
Man, I came into this game, I said I want Doug Peterson and this coaching staff to make me feel better today. That's where I feel like we've really been struggling, is with the play designs, with the play calling, and it was more of the same today. And I'm looking at Carson Wentz's QBR throughout the entire season. My man's yet to crack 100. Obviously, it's just been a turnstile all year with every single position on the offense. People getting injured, but he's just been he's been bad all year long. There's no way to slice it that he's been underperforming. He didn't take a lot of time, but Joey Martin, bro, we said it before the game. Congrats, man. You won. You're talking a bunch of shit before the game, and you get your right to talk shit. We played like ass. This team, Carson, going back to the QBR. I mean, he had a 72.8 today. When it was all said and done, his average for the entire year is 73.1. He played pretty much right on par with how he's played the entire year. This is the Carson Wentz that we've seen. And this is the team that we have. And we just have, everyone just needs to come to grips. We have a bad football team. I was talking to Soko before we got on here, and he was asking me about whether or not I have any confidence that we win the division. For some reason, I still think the division's going to fall into our lap somehow. I think the rest of these teams are equally as bad. That's just where my head is at. I think we still, as bad as this team is, have a chance to win this division. But there's nothing to celebrate this year. We're not going to do anything, even if we were to get into the playoffs. This is a horrendous team, and it's just like a train wreck. I just want to stop.
Yeah. So, how are you feeling?
Yeah, so I'm kind of going to echo the sentiment of Evan here. I think this is maybe like a 4-win team at best right now. I think that the team as a whole is not clicking. We have a turnstile at offensive line, Herbig going down with a painful finger injury. I just have no confidence right now. You look at the guy that we talked about before the game being the X factor and Travis Fulgham, and it's like you said, he had 5 targets. That's not enough for your number one receiver. 1 catch for 8 yards is just not enough. The play calling was bad. Hurts coming in at the absolute wrong time. I think he killed all of the momentum that we had on any drives. And then not giving the ball to Miles Sanders enough. We spoke about this before the game. This is a guy that was averaging 6.1 yards per carry. This is a guy that needs to shoulder the load whenever you have a hard time with your quarterback in your passing game. And it just wasn't there. On top of that, the defense was still on the bye week, and special teams was average at best. You look at Greg Ward whenever he was returning punts, he consistently put us in bad spots. He put us in spots that, were probably 7 to 10 yards behind where we should have been on that drive. It's just a bad football team all in all. We're not in a good spot. I think this is a 4 to 5 win team.
I mean, you think about penalties. 10 penalties. You're offensively, you're 0 for 9 on third down. I think it was 2005, the last time we were that bad. 2004, against in December. That's how bad this offense has been. You talk about the running game. Miles Sanders, he's the guy that you showcase your offense around. You try to let Carson be a game manager in a sense. 15 attempts, 85 yards. He was averaging 5.6 yards a clip. Boston Scott, 3 carries, 63 yards, touchdown, averaging 21 yards a clip. So the run was working in some senses. I think when I was asking, I put on the timeline, I need to see more orbit motion. I need to see more trickery and movement with Jalen Reagor. I like run a jet sweep, keep the linebackers honest, run counter off that which they've done. They did it with Ward, but then they ended up breaking another play with Scott. But make it make sense, make them other teams think about what we're doing, because I want to see more eye candy. And again, why do we have to do this week in and week out? Really? It's so basic as fuck that and then on top of that, I think just the random, whether it's the penalties, the execution, Jason Kelce and Carson Wentz, they have a marriage together, where they know how to snap the ball to each other. The amount of drop snaps, I think Carson Wentz was a little bit late on some of his reads on some of these check downs. He didn't like the one positive he didn't turn over the ball. We said that he wasn't going to turn over the ball. He didn't turn over the ball. But again, I think
neither did the defense.
But I think the Eagles fans all collectively can say that everyone's looking at Uncle Doug with the side eye.
Yeah, big time. And we've talked about this ad nauseum, but Jalen Hurts, how sick are you guys of watching Jalen Hurts trot out onto the field for a 2nd and 10? It's just a wasted play. We try this shit over and over again. I've said, each opportunity Jalen Hurts has, he really hasn't done much with it. I think his biggest play all year is something like a 15-yard run. And that's the biggest positive we got out of Jalen Hurts all year long. We got 3 fumbles on top of that. So he's not Carson isn't the only quarterback that fumbles. And Jason Kelce, I don't know what that was from him today. I don't know if he's injured, if he was drunk, what the hell was going on there. But he had an off game. His snaps were all over the place. Definitely wasn't helping us out.
He did have a nice block on that Boston Scott run. But again, if you're looking at a veteran.
Yeah.
That's like a pitch and catch situation. They've been there, done that. So
did you want Carson to block on that one play? Coming back around?
Yeah, I saw him
he thought about it, and to be honest with you, I'm glad that he didn't. I'd rather him just not be injured. But while we were on the topic of rushing, can we address the fact of just how much greater it would be if we had competent linebackers that, Danny Jones doesn't end up sneaking away every single game on us, man.
Yeah.
Like
Game.
Danny Jones getting to the second level
mean-
every time we play him.
I mean, hat tip to Daniel Jones. Like, people don't realize that he's got sneaky athleticism, but to the fact that your linebackers seem out of place when in the run game, I don't know. I just feel like I just don't. I need I need a star player in the middle of the field. I need a guy who's like with range in his.
You need a Patrick Queen.
I mean, that would be nice. But the thing that gets me is just like how much they make this Jalen Hurts package a thing, to the point like they're literally changing their offense around for their second round pick. How about you change the offense around for your first round pick? Like
your $100 million quarterback.
Like, they got creative finally on the screen today. It was a 3rd and 1. They messed up on that and they had to go to a 4th and 1. It's just those plays where you think that you could run the football. They don't run the football. Like, it's a gimme here. Like, it's almost like Doug's like, oh, I'm playing to go for this on 4th down. I'm gonna go for it anyway, guys.
Period.
And the whole 2-point conversion thing, just kick the field goal sometimes, man.
Like, what sense did that even make? It was 17-21. The extra point gets you within field goal range, and then if you don't convert, then you got to score a touchdown. What sense does that?
Like, what does that do?
Yeah.
He plays
I was talking to Evan beforehand about this, and so I constantly tweet at Dan Orlovsky, like every single tweet that he puts out, like, hey, come to Philly, come to Philly, come to Philly. We need you, quarterback coach, blah, 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 blah. And he finally messaged me today during the game. And I was like, hey, we need you. He's like, no, you don't need me. You need your head coach to not be a jackass and actually play to the strengths of your quarterback.
He said that?
And yeah.
Jackass,
quote unquote.
Wow. Cool.
Shout out. We spoke for about 20 minutes, and he said that Philly offered him a contract. It just wasn't enough. That First Take was offering him, along with Fox Sports, to step away from the analyst side of the house. And I was like, yo, I'll start a GoFundMe right now.
So the Eagles offered Orlovsky a contract?
Yeah, they offered him a contract as QB coach to fire Press Taylor and, go in as that quote unquote passing game coordinator is what the position that he would have held.
Was this news?
News?
Was this news?
I think it was rumored. I don't ever remember any traction being brought to it.
Yeah, so they offered him to come in and be the quote unquote passing game coordinator instead of Press Taylor. First Take and Fox Sports offered him more money, so he obviously stayed on the analyst side of the house. And ultimately, he's probably making the right decision right now because his team is bad.
I don't know about that. He could be the difference that we need right now. We need a coach on this team that knows how to work with this quarterback. Because I really don't think.
I was like, hey man, I'll start a GoFundMe right now. I guarantee Philly will throw in on all of this to make sure that you're our passing game coordinator for next season and everything. And he kind of blew it off and was very subtle about it. But yeah, obviously, Philly being in conversation with him, that was a nice thing to hear.
Yeah.
But it's a big what if instead of him actually being that guy.
So let me ask you guys this then. So if we're all on the same board as a fan base, as a front office, as realists, and we look at this team, we're like, man, this team ain't doing jack. Even if they win the division, they ain't doing jack all year. At what point do we see some motion in the front office? Like what? Like why wait?
I mean, if I'm Howie, or first of all, if I'm Lurie, I'm going in there. And I'm firing someone just because.
I feel like you need to set a tone.
I'm sending a message and letting them know that, like, this is unacceptable. You came off a bye, and this is what you guys brought to the table. Where's the creative designs, play calling. Like what this you're the guy who ran the Philly special. Like what is so special about what we're doing right now? There's nothing. It's so rinky dink. Like nothing. There's no flow. The only thing that makes sense, and which we've been dying to see is I've been dying to see is tempo, because that looks like Carson Wentz in his element.
Yep.
So if you're not playing to your quarterback strengths, you're not rolling them out. Shout out to Emily. She was talking about rolling out Carson Wentz. Did we see a lot of rollout today?
We saw
Not
one, and he got sacked on the play, and that's because Pryor let up pressure on the right side.
Yeah, and when he's in the
Lane
pocket,
Johnson.
everything's forced.
I mean, even
Yeah, Lane.
a moving pocket, like even max protect with a two-man route. Like try something different, like more eye candy. Like make it easier for Wentz pre-snap to know what's out there. I mean, I don't know. And he again, Wentz was sailing some balls. Some balls were dropped. But looking at the chat, shout out to people listening to the podcast. We are actually doing this live, and there's fans that are interactive in here. Trevor says 1-4 off the bye, Galen. That's not good. Adrian says after the bye, Doug after the bye is trash. Andy Reid was more money after the bye. This is true.
Fact.
We had our resident Giant fan. We do have to give him a shout out for sticking around and coming back. He said, "Didn't I say we was going to win?" I know the Eagle fans are a little bit quiet. Kevin says, "Horrible showing both on offense and defense. I think it's way worse offensively." Wow. Brown says,
Fraudson Wentz.
Wow.
He's a fraud.
Wow.
I mean, Carson Wentz.
fraud.
Carson Wentz on the day, 21 for 37, 208 yards passing, 72.8 passer rating. If we're going to go around the targets, the person who led in targets today was Jalen Reagor. He had 4 catches for 47 yards. Dallas Goedert also had 6. He tied with Greg Ward with 6. He spread the ball around evenly, but it was like they stretch the field. The longest pass on the day was to Dick Rodgers, 22 yards. Reagor had a 16-yarder. Ward had a 16-yarder. Goddard had a 12-yarder. And Boston Scott had an 11-yarder. Sanders had a 9-yarder. And Fulgham had 1 catch, 8 yards. Alshon Jeffrey, 1 target. So overall, if we gave a grade on the Eagles offense today, what would we say?
Is an F- possible?
Delco, what grade you got?
I'm sitting at like a D+. I think the run game is the only thing that keeps it from being an F.
All right, I'll give you a D+. I think Adrian in the chats, he has the cure for the Eagles.
What do we got?
Well, you're saying like Carson losing his virginity has sure messed with Wentz.
He lost his V card and had a baby. The ultimate L.
I don't know. Wow, Kevin in the chat. I am off the Wentz train.
That's the trend that seems to be happening week after week. I mean, we talk about it, and it seems like more and more people jump ship every week.
Shout out to Cindy in the chat. She says, "I need a double vodka martini at this moment." I've never seen Cindy make this comment.
Make it a quad.
Cindy,
go for.
Cindy right now is in a dark place with her Eagles, just her Eagles. Paul says, when does the off season start? I'm so done with the season. Doug is done. And that, I mean, is that like a idea in your head that just crosses? Is Doug Peterson done?
I don't think so. I think Doug has a pretty long leash. I think that they might force him to give up play calling and hire an OC.
You have to. Something you got to. I feel like you can't just keep doing. That's what crazy is, doing the same thing over and over again when it doesn't work. That's
exactly.
crazy.
And you remember the Chiefs with Alex Smith? They were kind of the same way, man. Like they were constantly like an 8-8, 9-17, and they hired Andy Reid. They hired Eric Bieniemy and drafted Pat Mahomes, and that is what it took to take them over the edge. Like Travis Kelce was not this like world beater without Pat Mahomes. That's what I don't understand. Like everybody thinks like the Chiefs are, world beaters and everything. I completely understand that, but they're not world beaters without the play calls that they have.
Yeah.
Well, Paul from London is really going ham. He said, I am demanding for Doug and Jim to be fired at the end of the season because if they are still here, we still play this rubbish. I like that London line, rubbish. The link will be very hostile, which I don't want to see. Joey, shout out to Joey, who's active, always active in the chat. Did anyone else see Carson pissed at play calls? I did not.
Yeah, did you see him grab his helmet and chuck it at the bench at the end of it was a third down play?
Really? I missed that.
Yeah, so he comes off the field on I think it was like a 3rd and 4 call, and he came off the field and literally grabbed his helmet by the face mask, picked it straight up, yeeted it straight at the bench.
Yeah, he's frustrated. I mean, I think he knows just as well as everybody else that his head coach and lack of offensive coordinator don't really cater to his needs as well as his style of play.
Yep.
We've seen that time and time again.
Shut down 1-3 says it's time for Eric B in Philly. And Eric Bieniemy is a guy whose name continuously pops up now.
Don't you think he gets a head coaching job though?
Yeah, I spoke
Instead
on
of an
this
OC job.
on the timeline during the game is like Eric B's not leaving Kansas City unless he gets a head coaching spot. And I'm the first person to advocate for Eric B. I love Bieniemy and what he does and the creativity in Kansas City's offense, but he's not leaving Kansas City with Pat Mahomes and Andy Reid unless he gets a head coaching spot.
Yeah,
it's not going to happen.
Why would he want to leave? He's like, you know what? I'm going to go to Philly and be your offensive coordinator.
Yeah, and I'm going to be an offensive coordinator for Philly and Carson Wentz.
Him something like, hey, with potential to be a head coach. But I feel like it's funny. I've been watching Eric Bieniemy since he was in college, dude. That's how old I am. Colorado running back, war number 1, if I'm not mistaken. John says Peterson has to go.
No, he doesn't.
I don't know. I mean, like if you're like if you're gonna sit here and if you're Lurie and you're talking about Peterson and you're thinking maybe he's having an Andy Reid off year. Get back on track. We'll work things out. Like he has to have the foresight to be like, he can get there or this is trending in the wrong direction. But like 3 games in a row of stale offense. I don't know, man. I have questions. Like 3 games in a row, I have questions. And this is not even juggernaut teams right now. I mean, this is the Cowboys, the Giants, and the Giants. I mean, division games can be tough, but how this tough? Like 0 for 9 on 3rd down, bro? Like, come on now.
Are we like, could this have sealed our fate as like we are now not going to reach even 500 at any point during the entire season?
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
3-5-1.
3-5-1.
Look, 3-5-1 is
you win even if you win against the Browns, then you go into the gauntlet.
Yes.
So, but then the weird part is they're gonna probably play up in the gauntlet and win a game that we don't expect them to win.
Mm-hmm.
They'll beat the Packers.
Watch them beat Seattle for no reason. And then DK Metcalf has his worst game, and then all of a sudden J. Joe out of nowhere has the game of his life.
And like the crazy part is like you can see them beating Seattle. Seattle has the worst passing offense in the NFL by like a long shot, like 480 plus passing yards. Like I can see them beating Seattle. I can see them beating Arizona. I can see them beating the Packers. Like I just not right now. If you call these plays and you play, as bad as you played against the Giants, you're going to get beat by 30 points.
I know, but like, what gives you confidence? Like, I agree with you that they play up to, they play up against good teams. But what I'm saying is we just watched Doug Peterson throw together 3 dud games against 3 dud teams. Well, 2 dud teams, but 3 different games. And like, what is giving you this confidence that Doug Peterson is going to find it. Like, I don't remember the last time Doug Peterson found it out. And when was the last time this offense was clicking?
But what's that mean? What's not clicking? I mean, there's nothing. I don't.
This offense wasn't humming all year for an entire game.
I don't see anything clicking.
Yeah.
Maybe that Washington game when it was like flowing nicely. You're like, wow, look at this.
We lost the game.
No, but I'm at the beginning.
Yeah.
He was like, wow, this 15 play script looks pretty nice.
Yep.
And then that went off the rails. I just think we're just in this weird space between QB and Coach Peterson and the play calling, and just a lot of stuff in the background that we're not privy to. Like, the stuff going on with Alshon. Like, he finally gets a snap after all this time. Shout out to Timothy, and thank you for your service, Marine veteran.
Thank you, Timmy.
Doug has become stale as 2-week-old Cheetos. Mike McFly says Howie has to go before anybody. Wentz, Peterson, Schwartz, I don't care who you hate. Howie must be the first head to roll. That's a common thought amongst Eagles Nation. Brandon from Facebook says, bro, where's the OC? This has been unacceptable. I mean, if you're thinking they I would just if I'm Luria, I'm just taking out Press Taylor. I'm just walking into the locker room and just like, out of here, clean your shit up, get out, go. But Jeff, go,
get out.
Yeah,
and just taking one of Peterson's understudies away. Like what are you teaching these guys? Because if you're in charge here, so you have to go too. We'll take your play calling duties away, and I mean, I don't know, man. I don't know.
If you consider a coach your friend, you're doing it wrong. As a coach, you're doing the wrong things if you think that your player and you have a friendship. That's not how this goes. I'm going to tell you what to do. You're going to do it, and we're going to move forward. Period. If we're friends at the end of it, absolutely great. But if we're during a season and you think we have a friendship, that's not how this goes. Period.
Just to I know everyone in the comment section is talking about Timothy Bragton. He keeps on going on about we need no C. Everybody's saying it. When I remember this team being good, we had an offensive coordinator. When our offense really clicked, we had an offensive coordinator. Who isn't connecting those dots in the front office? Who is seeing what we're seeing on a weekly basis with a stale-ass offense and seeing what we used to be able to accomplish and not connecting the pieces there and be like, you know what we're fucking missing? Like that, where's that light bulb moment? When is that going to happen?
I'm wondering when if they're looking at Scangarello and they're looking at him as he's the
you just need a fresh set of eyes, man.
He's the just in case, they have to break the glass moment. They pull out Scangarello. All right, how about we let you take over for the next week, see where we go from there, or I want you to be more heavily involved in game planning. But for a guy who has his hands firmly grasped around that playbook, to tell him to be like, you know what, my guy, you're gonna have to put down the playbook, go walk around the field, make sure the guys are together, make sure the atmosphere is good with the team. You know how hard that is for Doug Peterson.
Yeah. Well, you know what's hard for us is watching this shit on a weekly basis. That's hard for all of us.
Shout out to Nerdy Sports Guy. I love so far his tweets have been giving me life. From YouTube, he says Carson finally has 0 turnovers and they lose. Doug slugs after the bye. F. Peterson and Schwartz. He's got smoke for everyone. Play calling lopsided. Shut it down. 413 has a question. Do you guys get bothered by constant subs by wide receivers? Just give me the best 3 guys and leave them on the field.
Yeah. Yeah. I would like to see some continuity just across the board. I would like to roll with I think that's how you get rhythm going. I think that's how you develop stars on the team. And if you're just constantly having that shuffle of different players, the targets are being spread out and no one really gets rolling.
Yeah, and when have you ever seen your wide receiver 1 get pulled out for your wide receiver 4? I'm not going to pull out Fulgham for Jeffrey ever.
No, doesn't make sense.
Not at this point. Shout out to Rome. He says this team has no identity. Not a run-first team, not a lockdown defense, not an aerial attack team. Just discombobulated nightmare. It feels like a team with no rhythm. Like if the music's playing and everyone's vibing, like you got someone doing the Elaine in the background with the leg kick, like no rhythm at all, bro. Like, well, what is going on here? Like Carson wants to play country over here, Christian rap, and then Jalen's out here. He's listening to some Dirty South, and it's just. And Doug is listening to
the fucking ice cream truck.
Listen to the Kenny G over here. Like, what is going on with the whole vibe and rhythm of this football team? Again, it goes back. It's very cliche because it goes back to the person who leads the ship, which is Doug Peterson. And if he can't get the vibe of the football team, then what are we doing here? Like he's the guy that's feeding them ice cream and puppy dogs.
You gotta have everybody listen to the ice cream truck.
What? Not to be
everyone on the same page.
I'm not trying to be dick about it, but I'm just saying, like, sometimes messaging can get stale. Like, 2017 was a great year, but we've moved forward. I mean, you have to adapt to the league. I mean, just little things like coach. Like, what are the coaches like? Special teams. Like, I was a punt returner in college. Like, your rule is the 10-yard line. You don't let the ball go. Like, you catch the ball before. Yeah. So I mean, those little things like that, penalties. After the game, you saw our players like acting up at the end of the game. Like, who's the control of the football team? I have questions.
Like, what are you gonna do? You just got your ass handed to you by the Giants, a team that you've taken to Pound Town since 2016.
Yeah,
what are you gonna do?
The worst part is that we have questions. Everybody has questions, and nobody has any answers. There's no one that's going to be answering any time until the end of the year. Like we talk about, I just brought up how when are we going to see? They're not going to cut anybody. They're not going to fire anybody. I don't see it happening.
No,
I don't think that Lori, Howie, I don't think none of them have the cojones.
Bro, we do
it mid-season.
We made Daniel Jones look. This is like one of
his
after he had that huge run on us in literally 2 games ago. He displayed his ability to run, and then they ran the same play on us, and then they ran it the reverse of the same play 2 more times in that same game. Worked every time.
I mean, shout out to Daniel Jones for not turning over the ball. He's known to have the random turnovers like Carson Wentz. They were like 15th. They're right next to the Eagles in turnovers. So he didn't really turn over the ball. But shout out to Mr. Goldhammer Entertainment. I'm on my 3rd glass of Jack Daniels. Wow, it's that bad.
I hope you're filling them to the brim too, because we it's that kind of day. Jimmy
in the chat. You look like praise hell.
I'm with Paul, man. Like, I don't think that there's a problem with Wentz. I think he's okay. There may be some mechanical breakdowns at times throwing off his back foot, but I really think this is the play calling, man. I think we have the players in place that can make the moves. I think that the play calling is the issue.
Yeah. Jimmy, so how you feeling over there?
I'm feeling pretty pissed off. I'm going to be real with you. This was not what I expected. Clearly, before the show, I was much more excited and feeling this team. I thought, okay, Doug Peterson has struggled out of the bye, but this is going to be the week. We're coming back. We saw all the injuries. No more excuses. This team's going to show us the elite level. They are not at that level. Doug Peterson is not that same coach. Soko, I just heard him saying, Doug Peterson, I'm not sure what you're doing there, man. Half the time going for two, your third down play calling. There's so much that Jim Schwartz, the defense actually sucked this week too. So it was just so much to break down. So I'm reeling, man, and everybody just wants to make it worse too. So it's just it's been a great day.
Now Leighton,
We're all feeling that pain.
Leighton said, "Where was the pass rush today?" Jones looked really comfortable in the pocket today. They got to him at certain occasions. But I felt like interior-wise, I thought they got blown up a little bit in the run game. I felt like the Giants had their way in the run game. So I don't know.
I said don't sleep on Wayne Gallman either.
And that's the point that I like to make. You're spending the most money in the NFL on your defensive line. Where was your pressure? You had no interior resistance to the run. You had no exterior pressure on the pass. What are you doing here?
And then when you put that much money and put all your eggs in one basket with that defensive line and they don't show up, you got no one right behind them. You got no one playing linebacker.
And they haven't been really, against teams that they should have been feasting on. So this has been an issue. So you saw it today. And
contrary to Eric, I hope that he puts pressure on Howie. Howie is not – Howie's great with contracts. He's, good with trades, everything else like that. But let's be honest here. What has Howie done to improve this team over the last 2 to 3 years? Since the Super Bowl, he's been on cruise control. He's kind of been sitting back. Let's backload this contract. Let's restructure this contract. Let's, an obvious trade of a third and a fifth for Slay. Let's be real here. Slay is a lockdown cornerback. A third and a fifth is an absolute steal.
Yeah.
That's an obvious trade that any general manager in the NFL can make. So I don't really know where the pressure on Doug should – obviously, Doug makes bad play calls, but I think it starts at the top and funnels down. Howie has made some absolutely ridiculous moves and non-moves in the past.
Now, Louis, Louis represents a portion of the Eagles nation who is anti-Wentz. Says it's time to move on from Carson. He's erratic and always will be out. Hurts in and let him finish out. The Eagles aren't going anywhere anyhow this year. I mean, Louis, I understand you're frustrated, but think about the situation at hand. Howie sitting Hurts to play. I mean, sitting Wentz to play Hurts does not look good on Howie. This all blows up in Howie's face. As much as Carson has been erratic, he's also one of your leaders of the football team. He's one of the captains. He's the guy who's supposed to right the ship as well. That's not going to happen. I feel like
it benefits nobody.
No, they'd have to really suck it out. Like if they had to, they'd play Carson and just play it out and see what's there. But shout out to Prime who's entered the chat.
What up, Prime?
What's up, man?
Yeah, I agree, though, dude. I think Carson has definitely struggled, but I don't think making it worse on ourselves is the great idea. I don't think Hurts is coming in and making anything better. Doug has been an issue.
They need to stop with the Wentz, sit down, Hurts come in, bullshit. Don't get me started on that.
Yeah, you're killing me, man.
You're killing momentum. That's the only thing you're doing with Hurts.
I mean, you're wanting to throw a rookie into a situation that is already hostile. You're looking at your veteran, who's a 5th-year player, is struggling in this situation. Throwing a rookie in that situation right off the bat is not probably the best scenario for his mental. But I feel like, again, I'm not advocating for the Hurts package either, man. Like if it makes sense, yeah, but like the way they're using it, if you're down by the goal line and you want to add some trickery with some run concepts that you're gonna have you can take off.
Yeah.
So kind of going back to like what I saw. I watched a lot of Week 9 football last week. I was flipping through a lot of channels and kind of going back to the Chiefs game of last week. I saw Patrick Mahomes shift out right, kind of like a Philly special play, and then shift back into the backfield, take the snap, and then bootleg out to the right and throw on the flat for a touchdown. That's what we should see with Carson Wentz. That's not what we should expect from Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts is a backup rookie who should just be learning at this point.
Yeah.
Nate Sudfeld is inactive for a reason. Jalen Hurts is there to learn on the field from Carson Wentz. Period. If you think that Jalen Hurts is your guy, you sit him until Carson Wentz's contract is movable.
Yeah.
And then you put in Jalen Hurts. You don't put
you use
Jalen
Carson as a
Hurts-
bridge guy. Yeah.
Exactly. You don't put Jalen Hurts into an already hostile situation where you think you have a winning team that is not winning games, and then it blows up in his face. That's not how that goes.
I think it would really be something if, in the few opportunities that Hurts was given, if he were coming out here and just lighting it up, right? I think then the conversation could be then more that all the faults of this offense are more on Carson than they are on Doug. But when you're looking at these packages, and it really doesn't matter who is out there at quarterback, this play calling is just not working across the board.
Fail.
I think that points to coaching. That's where it all derives from. It doesn't matter who's playing quarterback. This play calling sucks.
Yeah,
Agreed.
I agree. You think Deuce Staley would maybe be like better at this point? What can we do, man?
At this point,
Well,
nobody other than
He can't even get the running back
Doug
rotation
making
right.
the calls right now would probably help out.
So Jimmy, before you hopped on, I had said that like everyone is on the same page here as far as that this Eagles team. I'm explaining something to someone who just left. No one's listening.
I am.
I'm listening, bro.
I was simply saying that I forget where I was going. This team's got me so fucked up.
Let me get with Paul here.
Go ahead.
Paul is kind of spot on. I think that you're screwing with rhythm at this point with Hurts. I think the play calling should 100% be shifted to Carson Wentz. That is your guy on the offense. You paid him $128 million. You're paying him $56 million over the next 2 seasons. That needs to be your guy with play calling. Period. Point blank. Period. That needs to be who you focus your offense around, and shift that to the strengths of Carson Wentz rather than trying to throw in this crazy Hurts package.
Mike has the answer for everything. He says, "I blame all the white jerseys at MetLife." And you know why I connect with this? Because I was so annoyed at one point in the game. I was like, "It's fucking white jerseys, man. These white pants." Like, I was getting angry at everything. It was so bad that I was just like, you know what I'm like? Everything's bothering me.
It was just a bad game. Let's be honest, guys. It was a bad game overall.
Bad season.
The defense is mediocre. We have practice squad guys starting at linebacker. We have a defense that's not collapsing on the quarter, or a defensive line that's not collapsing on the quarterback. We have a secondary that's not covering long enough because the defensive line isn't getting home, an offensive line that's hurt. We have running backs, that aren't being utilized properly. We have a quarterback that's, coming in and out whenever he gets in rhythm. And we have wide receivers that are getting sailed passes and drop passes. So it is the perfect storm of a mess right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so what you just said is just inconsistency. Nobody's playing with any consistency. If someone's having a good game, you can count on the rest of the team to not be.
Yeah, exactly.
What were you saying, Evan? I'm sorry. There is the storms of Narnia going on. Like, holy shit.
No problem.
I'm going to get kicked off 30 times.
No problem. What I was saying was, like, we're all on the same page as far as this team's going nowhere. Even if we were to sneak into the playoffs, win the division somehow still, and this team's not going to do anything. So exactly. At what point do we actually see some motion in the front office? Because, like, if you're not going to do anything, why not just sort of start chopping some heads? Why not send a message?
I would love to say next week, but who's listening to us?
They're not going to do it now. I mean, that's the thing. We're midway through the season. We missed the trade deadline. We're going to roll with this. So this is kind of scary.
At the end of the day, we're all going to sit here and just pretty much with our fingers.
I met with our coaching staff more than I met with players.
Yeah, I would love to see someone else calling the plays. We need to, I think. And I think maybe another game of this would force their hand, but they love, they stick to their guns and their excuses. I just was listening to Doug and Carson's presser, and it's the same thing over. We got to be better, you got to oh, we gotta fix it. It's like, dude, I don't even want to listen to it anymore because I don't
No.
want to hear it.
Yeah,
That's why I don't listen to it, because it's all hogwash at this point.
Yeah.
hogwash.
I feel like you have to sit here, make excuses after L's, and the eye test. We all know it looks like crap. Like
Yeah.
there's a vibe. Like when the offense is playing and hitting on all cylinders, there's a vibe. And Doug knows it's his problem, and Carson knows he doesn't look great. But I don't know, man.
At what point do you throw Howie back in his, side office and say, "Hey, you're going to handle contracts and trades, period," and that's
Me a long time ago.
Exactly. I'm completely with you guys. I understand that, but the Eagles organization as a whole doesn't, and I feel like that is the top point where shit starts to funnel downhill, and you start looking for a new actual general manager rather than just putting him in a side office.
Yeah.
He's gonna get himself fired, and that's the truth of it. And I think that Howie is great with the analytical side of sports, but he has too much control over the team. We talked about it in the pregame where he's starting to control who's active and who's not, and that's an issue.
Well, he's had a lot of control for a while, so it's just getting out of control. Without a football guy in hand, keep him in check. I think that's where he misses. I think you're going to bring in a football guy to run the show. Like I'm with it. Someone who's
not for Trevor. We don't need a quarterback.
Someone who's like has a grasp on what the NFL is doing, the new norm of the NFL. A lot of movement, a lot of shifting, a lot of versatile weapons, a lot of the mobile quarterback and that's where you look at this whole Hurts thing. The mobile quarterback right now is a thing in terms of like guys not taking sacks and making big plays with their legs. That's why it's weird. It's the whole Hurts thing has been weird.
How did we not see it, guys? How did we not see that QB Factory smelled like Dream Team a mile away?
Team, baby.
Truth.
It's just the same thing.
I'm still angry at the point of the lack of self-awareness that these guys, like you saying QB Factory, the high-fiving when the draft pick went off. I was like,
It's so funny to me that Howie had to make that call. He had to call Carson Wentz to make sure it was okay. If you have to call your franchise quarterback to make sure a pick is okay, there's a problem, period. Yeah. Jalen Reagor, absolutely love him. I think that was the right first-round pick, but you turn around and draft a backup quarterback and a developmental linebacker at 2 and 3.
You imagine if Carson just put his foot down and said, no, it's not okay.
Yeah. How about that?
And then they're like, all right, fine, we'll take a linebacker. Thank you.
Oh, God, we'll draft Luke Wilson then.
Yeah.
No, you see what Luke Wilson's doing in Cincy. Stop.
Well, we don't know anything. Leighton, number 69 is Matt Pryor, who is Richard Pryor's son. Both do well in comedy. Bro.
They're both pretty laughable at their jobs.
I'm telling you.
Bergman
says the quarterback factory sucks. Mike says, basically, see Miles in the second round pick. They should have gotten someone else. That's
So, real quick question, man. You see the way that defense was getting in through that line. Would you have called a couple screenplays knowing that, hey, like, just dump it off, let that, like, I'm asking the question, like, would y'all would have seen, knowing that line was getting through as fast as they can? You play it as a screen.
Yeah.
Fine, they're getting through, dump it off.
Jailbreak.
I'm waiting for it, and the fucking thing didn't want to come around. Like, what the hell's going on?
I don't know how people see Miles as the problem, though.
Miles is nowhere near
Miles is not the problem.
If he drafts DK Metcalf right after Miles instead of Arcega-Whiteside, we're probably having a much different conversation.
Yeah.
But if I was them, I would take care. I would dial up plays that, if they're being aggressive up front, like with our defense, when we were aggressive up front, they were hitting us like all day with like quick screens.
I hate to say it, bro, but that first drive, that first defensive drive, my whole attitude towards this game in the very beginning changed instantly. Instantly.
Yep.
I sat there on that seat and I'm like, this is going to be a long
You thought they were going to
game.
get cooked. Yeah, I said I was like I had that Samuel Jackson sipping on like a drink meme. I was like, so this is how you guys are starting the game off. Okay.
That's how you gonna do me?
I had people over and they had a bottle of Hennessy, and I don't really drink like that, like especially on a Sunday. But I mean, damn.
I might rip some shots.
I was already 3 shots.
Some Incredible Hulk's going.
Yeah, I was already 3 shots in. Like, oh my god.
Like here it goes, baby.
When what? All right, so we'll go around the room. What play was it where you knew that the game went off the rails?
Daniel Jones running it again.
How about it?
That's up there.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I kind of think.
I think it was go ahead.
Down to the goal line, and Daniel Jones took a read option on 2 straight plays, and it was successful on both times where they got down to the 1 yard line. I think that I was like, all right, here we go. This is going to be a absolute nightmare. The linebacker play, like we have to stop thinking that the practice squad linebackers are going to fill in. Like, yes, Alex Singleton played more today. TJ Edwards, whatever. These are guys who are seconds at best on any other NFL team. That's a fact of the matter. These linebackers are absolutely terrible. And TJ Edwards being the best is probably your second best middle linebacker on any other team in the NFL. I would rather take an undrafted free agent at this point.
I mean, at this point in the season, throw Davion Taylor in there. I don't care. I want to
exactly.
If he's got raw ability and the IQ's not, a match yet, I don't care. Like the only way he gets better is with reps. And
the moment that it really clicked with me, if there's one in particular moment, it's probably Darius Slayton when he was falling backwards and he was able to still catch the ball and he was like toe tapping backwards. That's probably the one in particular play. But when it really one of the things that just hit me was when we were 3/4 of the way through the game, just the fourth quarter just started, and they mentioned how the Eagles hadn't converted 1 third down yet, and we didn't convert any third down, fourth down. Yeah.
For 9.
It seems like we were jinxed from the very get-go. We talked about Carson, Alshon, Miles, those guys having a good game. Alshon was nowhere to be seen. Carson didn't really play all that well. We talked about Darius Slay running it in for an interception touchdown. He kind of got cooked a little bit today. You know what I mean? Linebackers look like shit. Alex Singleton, Jesus. I mean, I thought Nate Gary was on the field again. Like it's crazy, man.
It's that bad.
We talked about the 8-game winning streak that got snapped. We jinxed that. What else? It was like everything was just going the total opposite today, man.
Yeah, my play was the play when we brought in Jalen Hurts on that 2nd and 10. I mean, it was early in the third, and I was just I was just like, not early, but it was late in the third. But I was just like, I don't think Doug has the mental makeup right now to get this offense back on track. If he thought that bringing Jalen Hurts on a 2nd and 10 was the move, I was just like, Doug's not in his. Doug hasn't been in his bag for a minute.
A long time. And that's just the thing is that when does that Super Bowl luster start to fade?
I think Doug
already.
I think
now.
I think Doug needs a friend. Maybe one of his friends is going to call him up and
check in on his peoples.
Be honest. Be honest with him.
Like y'all suck.
You ran
oh my God.
Piece of shit.
Doug. I don't think you should have stuck with Carson Wentz. This is brought to you by Wranglers. But I'm saying it's like he needs a real friend, a real friend to sit there and tell him
not one that'll just send him dick pics at night.
Who's close to Doug Peterson? Who's telling him yo, you fucked up, bro, and you are fucking up, and like your friends have to tell you that you're fucking up. If you don't have a real friend to tell you like, yo, you're messing up, then do you really have friends? Like,
Yeah.
so I think
You want me to make you guys upset real quick?
what's that?
You want me to make you guys upset real quick?
What's that?
Oh boy.
The Bengals are beating the Steelers
Oh,
That
they
doesn't really make me upset.
14-12 right now.
You can't make me worse than
yeah,
that.
I don't think I could be brought down further than where I'm at right now. That's
Yeah, I'm in a low spot. I can't really say anything good about Philly as a team right now.
Well, this is the hand we're dealt.
All over though.
But Doug Peterson,
Maybe the owner of Haagen Dogs could probably tell Doug that he sucks and
I mean, you can make Doug feel better.
yeah,
about
he's
it.
doing terrible and until you get your shit
pissed me
together,
off.
no more ice cream.
Doug said he's going to look at the tape. Birdman says. Timothy Braxton
Yeah.
said maybe COVID messed up Doug's brain function.
Yeah.
We don't know all the effects yet.
Yeah.
We don't know all the effects.
I gotta go be dad.
Later,
So,
Soko, Dad.
Man.
Later, man.
Thank you for your
Appreciate y'all.
service.
Still,
Go Birds.
always go Birds, baby.
Take care.
Love y'all.
I just got a player of the week thing just came through my phone asking me 3 players: Miles Sanders, Alex Singleton. They really put Alex Singleton in this thing? Like, what the hell are these people thinking?
He's
Yeah,
alright.
But just to talk about your Doug Peterson's best friend in Brett Favre, I got to tell you, as I was watching Carson just completely throw another dud in that game, I was sitting there thinking about Brett Favre like,
I say, hold up, wait a minute, something ain't right.
sitting there thinking about it like, man, I mean, I don't agree with him, but he wasn't as off base as everybody was making it out to be. Playing like doo-doo, man.
Dude, they did.
It's a man in the mirror moment.
Yep.
Like you have to have these man in the mirror moments and stuff like, yeah, what am I doing wrong? What do I have to fix? And is the question is this fixable? Jimmy, you think
Not
this
this
is
year.
fixable?
Yeah, I don't really. I'm going to be honest with you. I think this was the game that we needed to come out and show that we could still get things done. We had people healthy. I understand that Urbig wasn't there, but these guys have played a couple games. There's no excuse. You came out and played like trash. So I don't think it's. I don't think it's over because we play in this division. So they're going to keep us around, make us have to go through it. But I really don't think we're a contender for the Super Bowl at this point. So it's sad, guys, but. I'll be here every week. I just don't think that I'm going to be so excited as I usually am.
I think I was telling Evan that I was like, I'm not excited.
Yeah.
Like I was pre-game. Like I kid you not, I was up to 5:30 this morning because I'm so hyped to watch this team play. I can't go to sleep, and it's real. It is real. Like you literally walk around the house like. Birds are starting to chirp. Like, I haven't gone to bed yet. Eagles are playing. It's like this weird thing. It's been like that for a long time. And
getting a thread of watching highlights. Just go down a rabbit hole.
Hell yeah. Well, I texted you last night. I was like, hey, I'm going to post this. And you're like, the real ones will know. I'm like, yeah, exactly. You can't sleep. And it's like, now we can't sleep because we suck. So it's like, it just makes it worse. We're still going to love them, but it's just going to hurt real deep.
Yeah, and that just to answer your question, Gail, like, can you fix this? This year, I think is pretty much what we have is what we have. We're dealt the hand that we have. Trade deadline has passed. Like, this is the roster that we're moving forward with, and it would be really shocking to me if the Eagles made some giant 180 turnaround. I think this is just a mediocre football team. That's just the bottom line. There's no silver lining to it.
yeah. I think it's time to Old Yeller this season.
Yeah.
The season's got foam running outside of his mouth. He's growling. He's mad.
Yeah.
Old Yeller, you got to put it down. Put it down and
Broken leg.
I'll start checking out college players, guys.
Yeah.
We'll get ready for the
I know Chris Malley was like ready. He's ready.
Yeah.
He's got all his players ready to go. I'm like, damn, already? But I think that's where we are at as a fan base. You want to get in the playoff, but everyone's like, you want to get in the playoffs with this? Now, I mean, if you can't beat the Giants, I don't have any trust or faith in where your next movements after this. I don't.
I mean, we couldn't beat
No.
Cincinnati. We couldn't beat Washington. We couldn't beat.
Exactly.
Where was your confidence before?
So it's what I felt like, because there's a lot of injuries and players, a lot of moving parts. But we got some players back. You had a bye week to get a grip on things, and it didn't look right. Still, the play call still didn't look right. The only thing that looked right is the running game. Like if I'm going to be positive, I'm excited to see what Miles Sanders play every week.
Yeah.
Boston Scott is giving you a little flash, but like Doug, can't you figure it out, dude? If your play calling in the passing game isn't working, run the ball, dude. Run the ball.
It's,
I mean,
it's like it's rocket science.
Boston Scott averaging 21 yards of carries, guys. 5.6 from Miles Sanders. I mean, I don't know. If you guys are gonna give us 1 ounce of positive moving forward, what would that be? We'll start with Prime.
Wow.
Moving forward, 1 ounce of positivity you have to look forward to watching Philadelphia Eagles. Like, I get to find some matching outfits next week.
Yeah.
I'm already done. I think I'm definitely done purchasing gear for the rest of the season.
When you as a fan, as a diehard Eagle fan, when you draw a sign in the sand and line in the sand where you're like, I'm not buying any more Eagles merch. I'll show you.
I don't know, man. It's a tough one. I mean, it's like it's hard to even think anything positive because it's like you want to sit here and be like, all right, I'm waiting for this person to come back, or I'm waiting for this team to get stronger, and then it's just like setback week after week after week, and the play calling is just ridiculous. I mean, you can't get nothing positive out of it. So I mean, I'm sorry. I mean, I know I'm sounding like the burden of bad news here, but I just can't find anything.
I was about to play some sad violin music for you.
That's fine, man.
Paul from London says we have great young talent in Fulgham, Sanders, and Rager. That's it.
We do, but I mean, like Fulgham today, it was just like that was another thing that we were just so hyped up about, and then it was just like 3 miss. I think he had 3 drops. A couple of those balls were a little bit crazy, but hey, what I mean. It's those type of things that just killed us today.
Paul Smith also says Travis Fulgham. Shout out to Paul. Jimmy, what do you got?
Yeah, I mean, the guys in the chat said it there, and Prime just mentioned a little bit. Of course, I'm very excited about the young talent we have as weapons. Miles Sanders, Rager, and Travis Fulgham, great for the future. I love Goddard. We'll see. But if anything I can hold on to and try to give any kind of positive feel for people that are trying to hold on to anything, it would be, Isaac Seumalo was someone I was really hoping would come back for this game, and he wasn't. I was hoping that it wouldn't be an issue, but then you're missing Nate Herbig. So now you have Sua Opeta and Matt Pryor in, and they both have struggled mightily this year. I did not like that. So with getting Herbig and Sua Opeta back, that could maybe build this offensive line into something, and maybe we could feed these weapons. But Doug is honestly the one that needs to get his head out of his ass. So I'm trying to find something positive. So maybe the offensive line getting healthy, and maybe Zach Ertz too would help this team.
Evan.
I mean, as a joke, but kind of serious, who's one guy who, in my eye, has really shown up to me a lot this year? My man Rudy Ford has been a beast on special teams, dude. He is down there like I said.
He's a special teamers.
Yeah, but I'm saying he's a guy that I found some positivity on the special team side of the ball. Thank you, Gail. I was waiting for it.
That's where we're at.
Yeah, no. Like I said, half joking. But on top of that, it's just the development of the young players. That's really all you can look forward to. You look forward to the guys that are still in those rookie deals. The Travis Fulgham, you look at Miles Sanders, Rager, all these guys. I want to see more and more of them, what they're capable of. The linebackers that we drafted, I would like to see them eventually step onto the field and get some meaningful, snaps. I want to see Jordan Mailata back out there, and eventually, hopefully we can move Jason Peters inside at some point this season. I'd like to see that. But other than that, I mean, I'm kind of just looking forward to the Viking funeral at the end of the year when we start shipping coaches off on burning ships down the Delaware.
Yeah, if my positivity, it's really hard to bring up some positivity. Like I said, Miles Sanders, the running game, I think they flashed. Fulgham. Like I like to see the development of the younger guys. If you catch another L and you're not developing guys in the meantime, that's where I get kind of pissed, because I'm like, these are great opportunities for snaps. And Paul just mentioned, did putting in Peters hurt us? I don't know if it exactly hurt us, but I felt like, I felt like it hurt Mailata.
Yes.
Mailata not playing is, I don't want any part of that. I want him to get snaps. I want to see him, see how he progresses. That's where you have to start thinking about the back end of this roster, who makes sense moving forward. If you're Lurie and you have questions about, this is your organization. Like, if you feel like it's being mismanaged, you single out who's doing the mismanaging, and you have a talk with them and say, hey, look, this is you. This is your department. Like, if you're calling the plays and you can't get it right, we'll get someone in here that can help you do it, or get someone to do it for you. Do they go to Deuce Staley? And when, I'm not saying Deuce Staley is all world or anything, but like at this point in time, do a combination of Scangarello and let him take the wheel for a week, or call up the game plan for this week if you want to see something. Because if you're Lurie and you have questions about Doug Peterson moving forward, these are the kind of things you have to start thinking about. But if you're trying to save face and not offend anyone, I think that's a bad space too. Because if you got decisions to make, you got to make them.
Yeah,
man. Look at the faces in here. Look at them. Look at them.
Yeah, man. This is rough. I think, if anything, what we need to do, you talk about changing the coaches and changing the changing of the guard. I think we need to change getting some of these young guys in. Maybe Michael Jacket getting more time at cornerback too. Maybe the young linebackers, just seeing what we got, just giving some of these younger guys more time, because if we're going to fail, we might as well see what we've got. So that's kind of on Mailata. I think it's hindering us in the long run. So, yeah, JP in there. I don't like that.
Yep.
Yeah. I don't know, man. This is I'm not going to say the season is off the rails, but, man,
it ain't on them.
We're holding on tight.
We're like Tony, pro skater, like you're doing all tricks on the rails right now. Like, you are almost off the rails, and you have to do a 720 to get back on track. Look at Prime, man. Look at Prime.
Distraught.
He's looking at the man cave. He's like, look at this beautiful face. This is like one of the worst. There was one point in the game when I was like, man, I hate this team. Like this, like not the whole, like this particular team. I hate what's going on.
Yeah, no, I got what you mean.
Vibe, nothing makes sense. It's like if you went in your refrigerator and you had all these ingredients, you had stock full of food, but none of the fucking food made sense. You got like mozzarella cheese and like
peanut butter,
peanut butter, and like pieces with pineapple on it.
Like, none of this mixes together well.
In dessert, you had like nothing's making sense, and this podcast is probably not making sense at this moment, because we've won off the rails mentally.
That's where we're at.
That's where I'm at.
It does
but hey, man, hey, we said the last podcast. At least we have each other, guys.
But anyways,
Louis says we are on the other side of the rails, hanging on to the sheer hopes other NFC East loses. So we're in a dark place. Yeah,
we're still in first.
That's what I mean. Like,
it's like that episode. This might be a reach for you guys, but there's an episode of South Park where everybody was trying to lose the Little League World Series so they didn't have to keep on playing. And
this is America.
Yeah, exactly.
Shout out to Dan, who's not
trying to lose this.
That was me today.
Dan's not gonna let anything take his thunder away. He says it's sad that I'm not even upset. I'm almost expected this game to go this way. It sucks. I think it's go Birds.
Yeah. I think everybody should just lower their expectations for what like you're at the beginning of the season, your expectations were up here. We got to just be realistic and drop these things down. You'll feel a lot better after these.
It's true.
If you don't expect a lot.
But I don't live my life trying to be basic, and I feel like that's where I'm at right now.
But we got a basic ass team.
I know that it's hard to.
Yeah.
What are we gonna do? You're putting makeup on a pig right now.
It's really going to put a lot of pressure on me to come in here and get pumped up, guys. But I'll do my best. But I'm going to really.
We're like a fucking Old Navy of football teams now. Not even Old Navy. We're like
old.
We're like
Baby Gap.
Baby Gap. I don't know. We're not even like we might even be TJ Maxx right now.
Damn.
I mean, you can find some steals in there, but I'm saying we were basic as fuck as we but before we get out of here, first of all, we just want to thank everyone who joined us pregame. Had a lot of fun with you guys there. That's where the positivity was. But thanks you guys for hanging out with us, supporting us. Shout out to you guys who were subscribing, first timers that are here. Give us, subscribe, man. Stick around, join the community. We do this every week, pre and post game. That's
win or loss.
Win or loss,
or tie.
Or tie.
That's how we do it. But any last words, Prime, before we get out of here?
Just everybody keep trying to stay safe out there. Hang in there. I mean, we got 7 more weeks of this, so we'll see how it goes. But at the end of the day, it's always go Birds. And
oh my God, this is so sad to watch.
Prime is actually that meme with your smiling mask and your ass.
Tears behind.
It sucks so bad, bro. Because I mean, it's like I gotta deal with these phone calls that you don't hear from nobody all goddamn year. Then all of a sudden you hear these guys beat us, and then it's like now my phone wants to blow up. I got to deal with this. It's going to be a long goddamn week. It's already been a long 2 weeks because, we were on a bye. I got to go back to this bullshit. I'm just trying to keep my composure. That's all.
I mean, we did get some footage of you before you got on the show. I don't know if you had a camera in your bathroom, but. Tough. It's real. So I felt that. Jimmy, any words before we get out of here?
Well, to everybody that tuned in, thank you so much for the pregame and postgame. Thanks for having me on, Gail, Evan, Prime, everybody. It's been awesome to be a part of this. I love being positive before the games, but it sucks when it feels like this. So let's try to temper our expectations for the rest of the year. Let's not get our hopes up, but I'm still going to be bleeding green every day, guys. I'll be back here, and I'll be trying to bring that positivity, and we'll hope for a win next week against the Browns, even though this team has played like complete garbage. So, go Birds.
Evan.
If there's anything that this team has been all year, it's inconsistent. But the thing about inconsistency is that means that some of the time you're doing all right. So I think it's worth hanging. If you're a true Eagles fan, it's worth seeing this season out. I'm going to be watching every single one of these games. I'm going to be talking about them with this crew after every single game. And, we're going to be making as much fun of this season as we possibly can. So we appreciate everybody that watches weekly, that checks in, all the new fans. We're riding this out together.
At the end of the day, man, we're going to be here, win or loss. This is what we do at 4th and John. It's about the community. It's about creating conversations. We're all playing it safe. There's no tailgating this season. We're trying to be socially distant and still love our Birds nonetheless. It's been a rough, rocky season right now. The season is not over. Obviously, NFC East is the NFC least, and it's still winnable. You just have to take each game week to week. That's what NFL is all about. Just hoping that Doug Peterson can right the ship. We have a lot of it's a reality series right now, this Eagles team, and it's got some ups and downs, some weird triangles going on. We don't know who's going to get knocked off in the next episode, and
who's going to get a rose.
Who's going to get the final rose? At the end of the day, man, we got us. We got us.
Keep coming back. Keep coming back.
But as always, thanks for stopping by, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Fly, Eagles, fly.